This is my first reading of Celtic myths and legends, and this is a myth or a legend from Scotland because I miss all the abroaders. The Curse of the Kelpie. The fires had burned for a week in the hope that those who had been lost at sea would see them and come home. From the tops of tall towers, guards looked as far as they could. All of them were asking the same question: what had happened to the sons of their chieftains? All was well up to a week ago. The chieftain's sons planned a fishing expedition, and they set sail on a pleasant day into the friendly waters of Barra's Sound from many places. They came from Erin, Sintyre, Isle, Dura, Colbassa, Muil, Tirod, Colla, Aiga, Rum, Canai, and the outskirts of Barai, Ubhistadis, Ubhistatuath, Na Erad, and Leodis. From all the western isles they came. Off they sailed, happy as they could be. They did not return. Their fathers came to Skithanach to try to find out what had happened to them. From Arrain, Sintyre, Isle, Dura, Colpassa, Muil, Tirod, Colla, Aiga, Rum, Canai, and the outskirts of Barag, Ubhistdias, Ubhistatuath, Na Erad, and Leodas. From all the western isles they came. They sat alongside the king was a man who had been shield bearer to the king's lost son. The king introduced the man as Donal. "How can this be that you are here?" asked the Lord of Arrain. "Are more alive?" the Lord of Sintyre demanded. "Shame upon me forever," answered Donal. "All but myself are gone. They perished at sea. I alone swam to shore." "What of your hand?" demanded the Lord of Isle. Donal stared at the blood-soaked bandage covering his hand as though for the first time. "I acted bravely," he said. "It was not enough." The Lord of Isle fell silent. All in the hall were silent with their thoughts. The chief of Isle spoke again. "Who brought upon us the curse of the Eichusage?" The hall gasped with his mention of the dreaded Kelpie. The shield-bearer looked at the king, who broke the silence. "Speak, Donal," he ordered. "Hear me. This is what I saw. It was a white creature riding the spray of the waves. A mane it had, like the foam that cloaks the rocks. It uttered the gentlest of whinnies. We saw the creature earlier by Eilean Namuk. No one spoke. They say beauty can silence the bravest heart, but when it surfaced again, Prince Ian called out." More gasps overcame the hall. "Called out?" exclaimed the Lord of Dura. "Called a Kelpie?" The king looked to Donal, who came to Ian's defense. "Ian loved horses. Anyone who knew him knew that. That Kelpie was a beautiful sea-going horse. Does anyone say I lie?" "Continue," the Lord of Dura said. "The creature went ashore, and we loved it and followed. Ian extended his hand to it. The creature nuzzled it. The gods have pity on us." The lords of Colbassa, Muil, and Tirod murmured among themselves. The old lord of Colla lamented over his loss. "He was my only son." "Lost to the Kelpie," reported the Lord of Leodis in shock. "Prince Ian would have severed his hand if he'd known the cry would cause their deaths," interrupted Donal. "If only he had severed it," argued the Lord of Muil. "How could our sons not know what would happen?" yelled the Lord of Canai over the Lord of Muil. "Didn't one among you not think of the old story?" intoned the Lord of Tirod. "We knew the story," said Donal. "We were taught early about the Kelpie. We just didn't believe you. We thought you invented it to scare us," said Donal. "This Kelpie was so beautiful." "Now you believe," answered the sorrowful king of Skigathanach. "What difference does it make?" cried the Lord of Rum. "Hear Donal's telling," said the Lord of Tirod. "Give him a drink first," commanded the Lord of Ubhistatuath. Donal took a hearty drink and continued his tale. "We were on the island of Muck. The great creature walked among the pigs. They were not frightened. The princes marveled at the creature's grandness. On the ground it looked like a great cloud had come to earth. The Kelpie turned and stared at Ian, and he suggested we ride its back. We looked from one to the other. No one spoke of fear. Seeing it, who could be afraid? One after the other, the young princes mounted the gentle white creature. I waited, and I mounted last." "Mounted?" The gods pity, exclaimed the Lord of Ig. The king gestured for Donald to continue. The beautiful horse of the seas galloped over the shore and leaped from the sand to the top of the sea. On the tops of waves, it cantered, ever west, toward the setting sun. It rode and rode. I lost all bearings. The red gold of the sun disoriented us, painting us its color. We rode and rode. Beauty swelled in our hearts. No one tried to dismount. If only it occurred to me sooner. And then, don't stop telling, snapped the Lord of Bareg. I tried to wave my hands in the air, but I could not. All hands held tight to the Kelpie. I cried out to the princes, but they did not listen to me. I knew something was very wrong. The current that held us ran from Ian's hand down the line. Ian grasped the creature's mane. He passed its energy to everyone who held on. I took my hunting knife in my right hand. My left hand held the prince in front of me. I cut off my left fingers, and I was free. Jumping from the back of the creature, I swam. He stared at his bandaged hand. I'm lucky to be alive. How did they look when you last saw them? Demanded the Lord of Leodas. They were laughing and riding, answered Donal, the shield bearer. That's the end. I don't know how to turn this off.